I'm going to dedicate this show to what we call the AKA First Lady Show, and you'll soon find out why we use that term, the First Lady. But no further ado, before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself so we can get to the good stuff. My name is Eric A. Bradley, and for those of you who have never watched this channel, boy, you are late to the dance. You're now on the Fight Show Live with our special guest, Claudia Trejos, the First Lady. Welcome aboard, Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such an honor to be with you here. Thanks.
Well, I must say the honor is mine. You're extra modest, but today we want to peel back the layers and find out one of the more I know that a lot of people are asking that know you close. I've seen a lot of things being said about you positive and not just regular positive, but people double down on it. So I just have to find out, and I know our viewers, and shouts out to everyone. Let us know where you are watching from because we're going to have people from around the globe. So that's going to make you feel totally at home. uh, my guys, special shout out to TSOB in the building. Welcome aboard. And what we're going to do is find out from one of this special guest today is what is what was put into that special sauce that makes you that person that just totally can cave in the doors and knock down opportunity for those who will come after you. Let us know what that special sauce is and who did it come from? Mom or dad, grandma, grandpa.
That's a very interesting question because I still don't see myself as just tearing doors down or walls or
Yeah,
glass ceilings. But it's been a process.
yeah,
I come from Colombia, so I guess we're known for being diligent and
yeah,
extreme. Very go-getters.
yeah,
Willful. But the truth is, I come from a long line of very strong women. My
yeah.
great grandma was an immigrant from Spain. My grandma was the first woman to actually, one of the first group of women that actually became a nurse. And my mom became a lawyer in her, I'm not going to say late age because I'm 52 and my mom was 40 when she actually finished high school.
Wow.
So I that on its own is heritage, but with my dad on my side and the work ethic and
Yeah.
dedication and not taking no for an answer, I think that was a great combination to make me. And I am number 14 out of 17 kids. So you can imagine everything is extremely competitive. And there's only four girls. I was the third. So I am the third.
Wow.
So I was never something very interesting, and I
Hmm.
guess that's the reason why I can relate to all kinds of people in different walks of life is
Yeah.
because I've had everything in my family in just my very nuclear environment. I have
Yeah.
had all kinds of walks of life. So
Wow.
it teaches you that you don't judge a book by its cover. You never know what's underneath,
Yeah.
and whatever is underneath could be very interesting. You could always take a lesson with you.
Yeah, well, I don't know what point you were making, but I never judge a book by its cover because you look the part. You have the entire Savage package. So I mean, I missed that point, but I definitely gathered the rest of it because I'm from an humongous family myself,
Mhm.
and so I get that entire thing. But the difference is I'm the baby boy, so you know I have haterade juice all over me because the older siblings, I'm the rotten brat, but
Of course you are. The
yeah,
entitled one. That's
yeah,
okay. We still love you.
I figured it all out though. I try not to, I grew from that point, but no, it's for people who are watching and you're getting some shouts out right here. What's going on, Barry Suave? Watching from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Hi,
All right,
Bear.
all right. Tell Terrence Crawford we said what's good. All right, we got him watching from Hawaii.
Yes.
Young man. All right, Micah. Shouts out from this. Oh, that's the School of Boxing. See, our fraternity's in the building. You getting mad love. Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
but so no, that really kind of leads me to see, and our objective is for people to really understand, because there are a lot of people who are middle kids and or first, and times have just weighed on them and they can't find that gear to switch, to turn on that. And that's kind of what they're going to need to feed off of you, because there are more females on my channel now, and it's our channel, our family. So that is something they can take from there. I mean, I have several young ladies are competing in the Olympics, and they kind of been devastated and like pick up the pieces, and that's kind of what they're going to get here when we go into this next layer. But the reason why the Olympics was put off is because of the pandemic. So tell me, during this time that's been different, more different than any time in our lifetimes, your parents' lifetimes. And my grandmother was born in 1913. So she's seen a pandemic, but she passed away about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And that's been a long time since there's been a pandemic and people have been in a position that we have been around the globe. So where where has this taken you? What positive has come out of this pandemic, shutdown for you that you didn't see coming?
Well, in life,
Hmm.
you always have to be. There's a very interesting saying my dad used to say. Uh,
Hmm.
you gotta do like a palm and sway with the wind. And coming from the typical broadcasting environment, which you are glued to the little square box, and all of a sudden, sports was my life, and it came to a full stop.
Yeah.
I still have a 15-year-old that decides to eat 3 times a day. I try to put him on a diet, but she won't. She won't go on a diet. So I still need to feed her. I still need to put a roof over her head. So I had to find myself swaying with the wind.
Yeah.
And I know this sounds weird, but the pandemic for my family, my little team, was a
Yes.
blessing. Because for the first time in my daughter's 15 years of life, I'm home 24/7.
Yeah.
For the first time, I actually put pen to paper and I decided to make my memoir, not just for me, but for my daughter.
Yeah.
It's somewhat of a door opener, using your terms,
Hmm.
and for many to understand that what you see on that little screen is just the very surface of a long road of many turns of maybe bad decisions. Even
Yeah.
if it was a bad decision,
Yeah.
it taught me a lesson. So it gave me time to think,
Yeah.
quiet. I think we live in an era where there's a lot of noise, and in that noise, you know what I used to do? Not think, not be able to be alone with my own thoughts, and
Yeah.
understand that I've had a pretty good journey,
Yeah.
and a lot of naysayers. I would listen to a lot of naysayers,
Yeah.
and compared to the yay sayers and the acceptors and the people that were giving me mad love, for some reason it's so much easier to just go, oh, but I haven't done this and I haven't done that. All of a
Yeah.
sudden I had a time to compare notes, what I've done and what I haven't done,
Yeah.
the success and the failures. And in that, I consolidated and accepted it. And with that being said, I embraced this new era of communications,
Hmm.
because the way we used to communicate through broadcasting has changed.
Yeah.
My daughter was, again, going back to being able to sit with my daughter on a regular basis, 7 days a week, I
Hmm.
realized TV, the way we know it,
Yeah.
is done.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch TV. And
No.
all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay. So now I got to talk to my people, my audience, in a completely different way. And I think
Yeah.
it's brilliant because it's back to our hands.
Yes, it is. And that's a powerful thing. As I was giving people a insight who are not conscious of some of the company you keep, and what you do and how you go about doing it. And my message from what you just said is, see, there's always an analogy to go with every scenario. And for this one, it's pressure can either burst pipes or it can make diamonds.
True, true.
And I myself experienced a lot of anxiety, hidden anxiety, because of the pandemic. Everything you have to do, you have to think 5 times now. You
Yes.
have to go to the grocery store. I was going to the grocery store and I had those masks on. And I was like, these masks, I had the N95, so you can't breathe in those things. And I'm from the medical field, so I've worn masks for, 12 years. And it was so crazy. But so I'm in the store, I'm getting food, for my family, and I can't even breathe. So 2.5 hours in the store, my thoughts are foggy because I'm trying not to, be respectful of people's space. They're trying to do the same. It's a lot. And it was just crazy. So you
But
rise.
I
Yeah.
am, yes, not only do we rise because it's our nature. I mean,
Yeah.
humanity is meant to thrive. But you said something very interesting and very important, and
Hmm.
awareness. That's a word that you've been using even before we actually made it on air.
Yeah.
I think it was time for us to be aware. I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to be able to say, I can't do this because it's going to affect somebody else.
Yes.
We got to give others an opportunity. How about that? How about when they were giving us schedules because we wanted the elderly to get a first chance into the grocery store?
Yes.
Or how about just letting your neighbor get in front of the line and you being able to not be on top of them, not give them like the 3 hour dialogue because
Yeah.
you're upset?
Yeah.
Awareness, I think, it's really sad, and it's heartbreaking to see what's happened to a lot of families, that they're separated. We're not celebrating Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving the way we used to do.
Yeah.
But it's given us a moment to accept, recognize, and acknowledge how important it was to give a hug. I remember back in the day, I'm a hugger, I'm a
Yeah.
Hispanic. I hug, I kiss,
Yes.
and you take those things for granted.
Yeah, you do.
And a shout out for my friend Joe Cortez,
Oh
Hall
man.
of Famer referee. He's still in the hospital, and God bless him. Every time, he's like a father figure to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up watching him. And
Me too.
to not be able to hug him, and let me put it this way, to not be able to pick up the phone and speak to him because he cannot speak.
Yeah.
That gives you
Yeah.
awareness.
Clarity.
You have this very short term, which is life, and it's so short.
It's very short. And this time, something came out of left field, and it came out of left field for everybody in the world. So now people can relate, except for those who are not taking it serious still. um, People are paying the price, and I was fortunate to see and hear that Joe Haley, our our co-host, actually, got the word that he was doing better. He was coming, turning the
Yes,
corner, and then he started posting, and his little, it's not gonna kick my butt, and
yes,
you feel good. But I know a family
but
member of mine had it as well, and that is a scary thing. And a lot of people were really experiencing it, or if you have medical issues. And so this is one of the reasons we're starting an amazing initiative at the beginning of the year, closing the year out, bringing awareness, and I'll get to it at the end of the show, so you can really take it in and stuff, because it's serious. This is real. And what is happening now, like when people were like, well, 2 months we'll be good, 3 months, I was like, you can't train the body to get used to something like putting on masks, washing your hands 1,000 times a day, getting sanitizer, making sure when you go outside, you come back in, you change. Like, it's going to take a year to get used to doing that right, the right way. There's still not a perfect process for it.
hmm
So once you start to do that, you think people are going to be more just, oh, I'm okay with going out and letting people breathe germs on me, because now I know I was getting sick all the time because I was allowing germs to infiltrate my system. And now you know why. It's because you weren't masked. So I think that right now is just a way we're going to be, period.
true.
You can be more selective, but these things that are being embedded into us and programmed into us to operate, we're operating like that so we don't get sick, not just with COVID, but
In
just
general,
sick,
true.
period. So, with that being said, I knew you'd show a layer of yourself, in which I want to, say thank you to the audience, because they are like sending mad
Hey,
love
Fabian.
from Hawaii. And Aussie, who is that? Jeff Lee's from Aussie. Aussie's in the building. Hey, what's going on, Fabian? See, you're getting some mad love. And I wanted, hey, Claudia, Fabian.
Yes, I said hi to
Yeah,
Fabian.
yeah. It's beautiful. I love the fact that people are taking the time to realize what's up, Peter. Aussie's in the
All the way
building,
from Australia.
all the way from Australia. TSOB in the
Wow.
building. The family, fraternity. We're creating a fraternity in boxing. Some of these individuals in the game right now have not understood. I come from a lineage, I come from a fraternity, and no one can just get in. Like you got to become something big to get in a fraternity or boxing. And you know this very well. In the center, in the central location of boxing, it's like a school. Like you can't enter without a hall pass, and you have to have the credentials to get inside of that circle. You can waver around it, but you just don't walk into it. You have to earn your stripes, and that's kind of what we've created. I got an opportunity to be able to do it. You live in a circle, is obvious right here. And these individuals need to learn firsthand how beautiful the boxing community is once you get inside of it and you're embraced and you feel that love and that relationship. So it's just a powerful thing. So all these guys are being taught these kind of things, how to respect our game and don't take away from it. Now, enough about that. We are going to address how did I come up with the title, The First Lady?
Yes, I'm still wondering.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of how we got to begin. We start off, you're the first lady, and I almost just want to scream out Michelle Obama's name when I say it because I mean it as much depth and impact as you cause. You
Thank
really
you.
not really understand the impact, and I'll always double down on it. The first lady to cover boxing in Saudi Arabia. You cracked that door down. That has never been done. That right there, if that was it, your bucket list, that's something that has never been done in the existence of the planet Earth. You're the first. That's one. Next, and you're modest. First female commentator in the NBA
In Spanish, yes.
in Spanish to cover the game in which I come up on. And I got relatives who played the game at a super high level. Your objective here is to just you covered the 2004 Olympics, which is where my uncle coached 2004 with Andre Ward, Amir Khan, and all of those guys.
Mhm.
That is insane. You know, you are doing things like this is five different people's worth of this, achievements and accomplishments. And you single-handedly have taken this down and you've crossed over that Latino audience and you've taken your language and crossed it over to the American language. You've bridged the gap. And when I say the first lady, because you myself is I have to be conscious of not allowing myself to forget what God has given me. I was just asked yesterday to say to yourself three things that you're thankful for. So you have to do that in order to get back in what we call rewind yourself back to ground zero, Claudia. When you
Yes,
get back to ground zero, you do embellish what your gifts are and your talents are and what you're going to show people who are similar to you or want to be similar to you and take the path you've taken. Like people watch Michael Jordan, boxers when they were young, like Miguel Cotto watched Felix Trinidad. And then you see the following that De La Hoya had and basketball players like Larry Bird and the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, not to be confused with the Black Mamba in Roger Mayweather.
hmm
Let both of those brothers rest in heaven because they both left a mark undeniable, literally etched in the planet. And so did you. And you're still here. So that is a powerful thing. And you can never forget to rewind, take a step back because you have to do that every day. You have to take a step back. Most people, every few weeks or months or even years, they step back and look at their work, but you have to do it every day because you got to realize what point you got to start from today and not forget what got you to this point. And once you got those ingredients, you can continue to create what you were able to create. You had to look in someone's eyes that usually says no to women,
Yeah.
let alone women that are in a ethnicity that you're just not, coming in here with blonde, blue hair, blue. I mean, we got to see through all the stuff. People are about numbers, so they like majority. If the majority of the planet was green and purple eyes, then if you were green with purple eyes, you get the job. Everything is about numbers. There's no job on the planet that doesn't require numbers. So when they see that, and you have to be the one that is able to take the word no and bounce back. So for that reason, I'm in on you and doubling down. That's why I call you the first lady.
Thank you. I'm flattered. Um, and I those words do echo deep into my soul. I remember back in 1996,
Mm-hmm.
right after the Olympics,
Yeah.
Atlanta. Um, I had the opportunity to be the color commentator next to a very nice gentleman, and I remember he said, "Well, we don't have budget, so we're not going to take an expert."
Yeah.
And the fights, I lived in Los Angeles at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
the fights were going to be here in Miami. And he said, "We don't have money. Do you think you could go?" Because I was the sports director at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not an expert, but you just follow my lead. And I looked at him thinking, "Oh no, you didn't just say that."
Wow.
But you, at
Wow.
that time, again, you sway like a palm and you sway with the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that was the impression of him that
Yeah.
he had of me, I'm only 5'3" on a good day,
Yeah.
at a buck 25 maybe.
Yeah.
So not intimidating, and at that time even less.
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, no worries. I'll take it. I'll just dance for you. How about
Yeah.
that? I'll just dance for you." The minute that I opened my mouth, I remember him looking at me thinking, I don't know what was going through his head, but it was like, dude, this is my chance. Maybe three people watched me. At the time, I was working for Channel 22, KWHY in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
which later became part of the Telemundo group, which is now part of the Viacom group, NBC. Um, Not Viacom, NBC. Uh, and
Mm-hmm.
it was funny because I never saw it as, okay, this is my opportunity to shine. It was more like, I'm gonna dance,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna dance right,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
Mhm.
make this happen.
Yeah. That's what's up.
And that was back, I sometimes I remember how far along that was, and I remember even earlier, as I was, the reason I got into boxing was because we had this chat about my brothers and what have you.
Mhm.
But my relationships with fighters,
Yeah.
you talk about fraternity, and I call them my fighters because
Mhm.
that's my family. Being an immigrant and not having an immediate family next to me, these people become your family.
Yeah.
Because we move like in packs:
Yeah.
mother, daughter, son, wife,
Exactly.
parents, grandparents. So we
Yes.
move in packs, and I understand that. I can relate to that, and
Yeah.
I love that. And I love
Mhm.
being able to walk into a locker room and relate to the dad and to the mom and to the children. And and my job is to bridge that gap
Yeah.
between the fan and the fighter in the ring.
I think we lost her for a split second. Give us a second. I'm sure she'll be right back in. This is uber cool to be able to have such an amazing person that we get to share the camera with today. Uh, give her a second to jump back in. And I know you guys are watching and wondering exactly. Here she is. Let's get her back in the building. Oops. I think she vanished. All right. I got you. I see. She's back. You're popping in.
There you go. That's funny. I didn't, but anyway, but you know how that goes. Here, let me
Yes.
delay. So, where did I lose you?
You were speaking specifically about kind of like when your family, the boxing community is your
Yeah.
family. And I know
And
you go ahead.
people like us that
Yeah.
work behind the scenes, eventually I make it on camera, but
Yeah.
people that walk between locker rooms and we go through corners from, red to blue, we,
Hmm.
we our job is to humanize the fighter
Yeah.
and to relate to the fan.
Yeah. That's it. And that right there is just like in football. The guy, the stats that matter and get you the big check are sacking the quarterback if you are a defensive guy or intercepting. But you don't get a check for disrupting the quarterback, for pushing the offensive lineman into the quarterback so he can't see the receiver and he throws an interception. See, that's not a statistic. Neither
No,
is the stuff that you're doing behind the scenes the way you do it. As soon as that guy heard your voice, first, the difference when it comes down to people is we're all separated by the vibration levels in which God gave each one of us. So that's what separates us as animals on this planet. You may approach a puppy, but you may not approach a cub, you know, because the vibration is different. The consequences are different. On a bad day, a puppy will scratch you, maybe bite you. A cub could swing and cut your arm off.
for real.
The
Yes.
difference, the different levels. So it's easy to identify it when people get to see and hear you. They know immediately you got something. If they don't feel the vibration, that's one of the reasons I said, "Wow, this is almost like my new thumbnail." It's just so great. It says a lot. It speaks volumes, and soon as people see that, like that star quality immediately, like that person's somebody immediately. So what you're here to do, you're on the right set and path for it because you already got all the boxes checked. All you need is the opportunity. The only thing that happens is sometimes I've been guilty of being too modest to collect your reward because you're constantly in the fields trying to plow and make the corn grow.
True.
And you won't pull back to accept your accolades, which is why I got you on the fight show because it starts now.
Thank you.
So you'll get the repetition to accept your accolades because that's a part of it too, right?
And that's I totally agree, and I cherish this opportunity. And
Yeah,
again, I am so grateful for this pandemic because again,
yeah,
the world stopped. I
yes.
had no noise. There was no land to plow. There
Woo.
was nothing
Yeah,
to harvest.
exactly.
It was just me sitting here in my four, walls, and me and my thoughts. And all of a sudden, I had to again put everything on a scale. What have I
Yeah,
done? What have I not done? What have I fallen short on?
yeah,
And what have I excelled on? Because again, living based on ratings, living on other people's acceptance, it is what I've done for the last almost 30 years.
yeah, yeah. You got to build new muscle memory. You got to
Yes,
establish a new jab. So that footwork you was talking about before we got started,
yes,
you just got to bend those knees and push off with that back foot and
yes.
recreate the jab and establish it and make it educated. Now, everything you want to tackle, you just point to it and shoot and you deliver it. And what's going to happen is everybody know the most important punch in boxing because it dictates everything.
Everything goes behind the jab. And you know what?
Yeah,
I am a southpaw, but I'm a natural righty. So
yeah.
you know that my jab is strong.
Ah, oh, you're a switch hitter.
Well, no, I can't switch. I'm a southpaw 100%,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm righty.
Right-handed. Yeah, that's crazy.
So my jab,
Ambidextrous. That's great. That's great. And this segues us And that's also a message to anyone who's thinking about running up in there. Those hands are a problem, so you might not want to make that move.
Be
But
careful.
yeah, this segues us to the next question. And let me see, Anthony from Seattle, Washington. That's what's
Hi,
up.
Anthony.
Yeah, what's good, bro? Everything is good, man. Thanks for joining us on the Fight Show.
Oh,
Montreal in the building.
from Montreal. Hi, Benoit.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I told you, Tuscan, Tucson, Arizona. Oh, it's Amelia. Hey, Amelia. Amelia pops in on us. She got a son that boxes, so keep your eye out for him.
Yes.
Yeah, so it segues us to the next um, conversation, which is all of that work you've done. And like I said, I love putting it on the screen because you know what? It's your work, it's your body of work, it's some of the things that you do. And when you see this, what that says is the business side of who you are. This part of you, we had the small conversation establishing your business brand now after being on the tail end of the other brands who've been built, and now you're able to really create your own brand, and that's not an easy thing when you don't have the map the right way. So it's uber important now that you decide the steps that you need to take and
Hmm.
what you've already done. How do you see that transferring into your brand?
It, transitions are always complicated.
Yeah.
The way I try to see it is I am reflecting the need in our society for awareness, especially for
Yeah.
minorities and women.
Yeah.
I'm reflecting uh, the will to thrive and
Mm-hmm.
succeed, and I am the perfect example of not knowing how to do it, and really just like a blind person
Yeah.
feeling my way through it. Is that's a very slow process, I understand,
Yeah.
but sometimes uh, I know this is going to sound weird, but I believe in me. I literally walked away from my Monday through Friday job, which I did radio for many years,
Yeah.
4 hours of radio, and I just said I'm investing to produce 4 hours of radio content. It's about
Mm-hmm.
10 hours worth of all in all production, and. And I said, I do what I love. I love sports. This is I can't complain. I'm blessed, but I
Yeah.
know that there's more, and I can give more. So I believe in who I am and what I mean to others, and what my process means to others. Not
Yeah.
necessarily because they need to walk on my path, because I'm a true believer on everybody has their own path, and I
Yeah.
cannot take anyone by the hand and show them my path,
Yeah.
but I can show them that no matter how many obstacles you actually face,
Yeah.
those need to be taken
Yeah.
head on. Do not shy away from them. They are the reason why you become bigger.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, there was a point in my life, especially when I made that transition. Again, talking about transitions from the Hispanic market to general market, I was so intimidated. I was afraid to take that step,
Yeah.
and until I just threw myself head on into it, then I finally found that most people are like me. Most
Yeah.
people sound like me. And
Yeah.
there's that little, I call him Fred. Fred is in my head saying, you didn't say that right. You did not quite express it properly. Or you're
Mhm.
falling short in your pronunciation. It's like, wait, stop. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are my own little insecurities that
Yeah.
have absolutely nothing to do with reality, and I'm in that path again. I'm doing that transition again.
Yeah.
I, I'm not very social media savvy, but
Mhm.
I'm delving into it. I'm taking a chance because I believe in me.
Yeah.
The core of all is I believe in me. I trust myself. I
Yeah.
trust that my message will resonate with everybody and anybody at any given day, any
Yeah.
given time. Be it that you're 16, 17 and still trying to figure out what you're going to do after you graduate from high school, or even if you're trying to graduate from high school,
Yeah.
or if you're in your mid 50s like I am and trying to find another part of your life.
Yes.
Because somebody said something very interesting to me. Just because and they said this to me when I was 45. Just because you're 45, it doesn't mean you're done.
No.
And that is true.
No, it's the beginning of what you got because we all I refer to this statement because it is some people were born with more. So you can allow someone to have a head start. You'll catch up and pass them again. You'll cycle them. And because you got more and you know you do, and that's your vibration. That's why you believe in you.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm not on the right track, but that's my assumption. When I see, the goods, I know you got the goods. So which was one of the reasons I also brought you here because you are a boxing junkie. So in this segment,
Yes,
no further ado, it's time to box. We
let's
gotta
do
talk
this.
some, we gotta talk some boxing now.
Yes, so
And
see, like,
we have fights coming up this weekend
yes.
and with people that you have near and dear to your heart. And I know because I've seen you do some posting. And Joshua Anthony
AJ.
AJ is in the building this weekend, getting his feet wet against PULEV on the 12th. So y'all tune in to watch Anthony Joshua. 2 years ago, he had taken the boxing world and was creating a brand in another kind of way that we hadn't seen since the days of Sugar Ray Leonard. The looks, the cachet, the professionalism, the hate, the love.
Wait, you know what?
Yeah,
We talked about this before.
yeah,
Haters
yeah,
are lovers because they make you work harder.
yeah. They
We
should.
need haters.
You gotta
Haters
have it.
make you.
That's right.
Yes.
Ghosts, ghosts follow, but
Yes.
they follow. That's your new phrase. You're able to use it. People who don't understand ghost followers, those are the people that are following. They won't support you physically, but they'll never leave your side. They're always there, like the uncle with a shotgun. If anybody ever touches niece, it's gonna be problems.
I
But
had one of those dads.
yeah, so you know the deal.
Mhm.
So I I know it's probably from a biased standpoint. How do you feel Anthony Joshua will enter 2020 fighting again since the Ruiz fight? How do you see him looking? What do you feel? What does your gut tell you about Anthony Joshua? Do you feel like he's gotten those demons and screaming out of his mind now?
Oh my gosh, did he ever? You know what? And it's the and I'm gonna qualify this statement. I'm not a cheerleader for AJ. I respect Anthony Joshua for his work ethic,
Yeah.
for his candidness and transparency.
Yeah.
I'm going to explain to you why. When he fought Andy Reese at Madison Square Garden, I had the honor to walk into his locker room right before he walked into the ring.
Mhm.
And I understand that fighting in the U.S. it could be a bit intimidating. It's a different environment. He was not
Element.
in his
His
element,
zone. That's his comfort zone.
in his comfort zone. And I asked him, how has all fighters have certain things that they do
Yeah.
right before they walk into the ring, be it because
Ritual.
of, the rituals and traditions and whatever, be it because of health wise or whatever it is. But I
Mhm.
knew that he couldn't, something was off.
Yeah.
And he was very open about it. He said, "Yeah, I'm not feeling myself today.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling myself today." And I said, "Is it because Madison Square Garden? I mean, this is the mecca of boxing." He goes,
Yeah.
"Maybe that's it. I'm not sure." And sure enough, he took that loss. It was a heartfelt loss. It took him about 3 days, but when he came out for air and he spoke to us, again, he was very clear,
Mhm.
always very respectful of not just his opponent, the environment, Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden, what that meant for his career,
Yeah.
and how he knew that he was not invincible. He says, "I there's a difference between being invincible and having a winner mindset. I
Yeah.
am a winner, but winners have bad days at the office. I just had
Yeah.
one." When I had a chance to speak to him again at in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, I could see that self-assurance, the assertiveness. And
Hmm.
I'm going to just relate that same feeling to somebody that I know very well, like Juan Manuel Marquez, like Julio Cesar Chavez, and I could give
Yeah.
you a long list. Um, a loss doesn't make a champion. It
No.
doesn't break a champion. A loss just teaches, going back to the obstacles. A
Yeah.
loss is just another stripe in a tiger's fur. And
Yeah.
in that case, that tiger came out and did his fight, his style, his way, and he took Andy from the hand and gave him a boxing lesson.
Yeah.
Was Andy at any given time less of a fighter? No. We could dissect this fight back and forth.
No.
Now, we're not going to compare. I cannot, with any self assurance, say that Kubrat Pulev is anything less than Andy Reese. Kubrat Pulev has his own
Yeah.
credentials, his own accolades.
Yeah.
But in terms of, we always relate to that basic math in boxing, which went out the window back in June in 2019. The bigger man will win.
Yeah.
AJ is bigger, faster, longer reach, and he's been exposed to a completely different level of opponents. Kubrat is it's going to be a tough fight because he's diligent and he's steadfast and he's got a chin. But
Hmm.
I think AJ is going to take that win.
Yeah. And when you look at a fighter, the thing that has to happen is when you're fighting, you can't sleep during that fight anytime.
Exactly.
And when you're trying to get a guy out of there and you are not defensively responsible, counter punches happen. You play basketball. You
Ask
don't
Deontay
play
Wilder.
you don't play boxing. And he learned that lesson. He was able to go back to the drawing board, make the adjustment. That's what a true champion does. You're
Exactly.
you're, you're not measured by your wins and losses. They can leverage you in a negotiating table when you're negotiating the next contract if you lost. That's the only place you will lose, but you won't lose in the game of boxing because you always get that chance to show how you go back to the drawing board, redeem yourself, and catapult yourself. And it really makes the next win that much more lovely. So that was beautiful. And I had to get your insight and your high insight because like I said, you understand Anthony Joshua. You're able to brush shoulders with him. And these people don't quite understand how important that part is when you're able to know the fiber of these individuals. Now we also have my man
Canelo.
Canelo versus Smith. Who
Yes.
saw Canelo fighting at this weight? 160 at best. People were biting their nails there, not knowing if he could get in there and do the thing. But he goes up, not only does that, but catapults himself to 175 and knocks off a former killer in the division in Kovalev. Now he's here against Liam Smith. And I mean,
Callum.
Callum, sorry.
He
And
already did. He already took care of
yeah,
Liam.
he already, yeah, man, that was bad. That was bad.
That was
But
horrible.
now you see Canelo, all the stuff going on with the contract and his own Delaware, all that stuff. You never seen Canelo wrinkle. He was able to really understand what made Floyd so great. The other stuff, not just the ring stuff, but the composure. And Canelo just is uber composed. What do you see in this fight with Smith coming
You,
up?
I'm going to backtrack a little bit just
Okay.
because I don't want to disrespect somebody like Liam Smith. Liam did a phenomenal job at 140 and 147. There was no way. I mean, he was
Yeah.
overpowered,
Yeah.
oversized, and period. Um, let's go back to the drawing board of Canelo's career. I think he had great teachers in Lara, Erislandy Lara, Sugar Shane Mosley, and
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather. I think what catapulted him in terms of boxing IQ was definitely that fight against Floyd. And people mock him because perhaps he was not as accurate. How could you? You're
Yeah.
trying to hit a moving target, and if there's anybody that understands
Yeah.
how keen and precise Floyd can be in terms of footwork and handwork and the rolling shoulder, he's the master of it. So the fact that Canelo actually took that risk and put his, undefeated up there,
Hmm.
I give him all the credit for that.
Yeah. I
With
mean,
that being said, and taking two fights against Gennady Golovkin, and I'm going to say this with all due respect to Gennady, He was the hardest hitting 160 we have seen in the last decade. So the fact that he took that fight
Yeah.
was also, for me, adding to his credibility. Then he goes up to the Crusher. Sergey Kovalev, people could say, oh, he was washed up, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Hello, the one thing nobody loses, no fighter loses, is punching power. And Sergey hits like a mule. He hits like a mule. You could hear it. You can hear it. Ask Bernard Hopkins. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Moreover, at this point in time, Callum Smith would be the most complicated fight. And before he took uh, um, Rocky Fielding,
Yeah.
that's the fight that he's been wanting to have for the longest time. This is a fighter that has all the tools necessary to make this fight interesting. He's got the size, he's got the reach, he's a natural, uh, and he walks around like a light heavyweight.
Big
So
boy.
as a super, he's going
Yeah.
to be fantastic.
Yeah.
He's got speed and power. So it's a
And
perfect combination, and it's the one true test that I see coming for somebody like Canelo. And no, I am not going to take anything away from either fighter because they're taking this fight in the middle of a pandemic in a very short notice. Let's be clear on this.
yeah.
A fight of this caliber
Yeah.
usually takes about 3 months to put together. They
Okay.
took it in less than a week,
Yeah.
and in what, 7 weeks before
Yeah.
the fight.
Yeah.
So my respects, chapeau, chapeau, chapeau for both of them. Callum Smith again. A lot of people would have liked Canelo against Caleb Plant. uh, Politics would actually let us know that that fight is going to take a while before it happens.
Yeah.
But Caleb Plant would have been an extraordinary opponent for somebody like Canelo. His mobility, his agility, his athleticism. I think we don't give Canelo enough credit because he
Ah,
started boxing at
I'm
I
Canelo's biggest fan.
a lot of people think that he's just made up. And
Yeah.
I wanna remind people, Canelo's amateur career was almost non-existent. He went
Yeah.
pro because he became a dad at 16.
Yeah.
So he was selling
He learned
popsicles.
on the job.
Exactly. He grew on
Yeah.
TV before our eyes. So he's not, it's the Miguel Cotto, Tito Trinidad syndrome. Everybody loved that charismatic persona that Tito had,
Yeah.
very gregarious, happy, go lucky,
Mm-hmm.
dancer, singer. Cotto's more of a subdued guy. He doesn't really talk much, but when he
Yeah.
speaks, you better listen.
You
Because,
better know.
yeah. And the same goes for Canelo. He's not Julio Cesar Chavez. He's not Juan Manuel Marquez. And for all intents and purposes, we're talking about two regions that have given the American continent most champions than
Yeah.
any other country.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, the roots are deep, the IQ is there,
Yes.
and he has grown before our eyes in worldwide TV. So
His
I give him all
wrinkles.
the
Yeah.
credit.
The wrinkles that he has in the game. So you got to see some of my breakdowns. I do them in the ring, and I explain them in depth and sometimes under fire, so people will really understand. Just like I told you, we got to show people how and what it really makes you up, the fibers. And I do the same thing with the fighters in the ring. So I do levels of breakdown, and I say it. We break the
And
fight world down round by
you,
round.
you brought up a very important subject, which is the back leg.
Yeah.
Pushing back from the back leg and being able to pivot
Yeah.
and being able to walk on your, fight on your heels.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to give a lesson on that because
Yeah.
people don't even know what we're talking about. It's like
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. It's
Well,
a beautiful thing.
you'll be able to just kind of direct people to our page and our channel, and we got tons and layers of that, and even on the website, if they want to get serious about it, we got total training camps and really the insight. It's a boxing Bible, man. It's a
Yes,
university, so we're gonna get ready to wind her up. I wanted to bring you back on the show just to talk boxing because
yes,
that what people need to do once once again. I think you're gonna be first to talk boxing in a way that women can understand, that they can get into it and involved this deep too. And you're just not a person that comes into the game with a pretty face and a great personality and people surround them, but you really know the sport and you understand the athletes, and that's a great thing. So what we're gonna do is wind her out, and I want you to know that we're going to do a re-airing of this show that we're
Oh,
doing today on December the 25th, which is Christmas Day at
yes.
7 p.m.
Give to
So
me.
yes. So you'll be able to check it out again, and we'll be getting it in. And our biggest thing is to make sure that we thank you for coming on board. And we will be doing a series starting in January, and we have an initiative going. So, any of your friends in the media, this is what I'll ask of you. Any of your friends in the media that understand what we're doing for the sport of boxing is Master Boxing is putting on what we call an initiative. We're giving a school scholarships to the first responders and underprivileged minorities, and for those who are in a position where they can't really make it happen, they're going to get a full scholarship ride through our school, which is
Fantastic.
loaded, and it's an education. And our guys graduate January 25th, and it'll be the first ceremony like this ever in the history of boxing. Like you're going to get a degree, like you would go if you go to Harvard or Brown University. It'll be a ceremony. There'll be speakers. It'll be a big deal, and they get to experience that. They'll have, accolades for their kids to see, and we want the sport of boxing to be seen in a different light. And so we go above and beyond to do that. So make sure any of your friends in the media, they want
I
to cover
spread the
what we're
word.
doing. Yes, we want somebody to really take that as an article and really write about it so people understand that it's out there for real. And with that being said, we got you covered. But today, before you leave,
Yes.
being that you're such an advocate and understand you're an aficionado, you will receive an honorary certificate and being grateful and appreciation to the School of Boxing for you. So you'll receive that when we come. We're coming down to your neck of the woods in December after Christmas and
Let's
stuff.
do
So
it.
hopefully we will be able to cross paths, but
Yes.
you'll receive this, and it's going to be cool to have. And I just appreciate the fact that you have done what you've done, and you deserve 10 times more than that. So welcome to the School of Boxing,
My
honorary member.
my pleasure. Whatever you need, whatever helps us enlighten the fans,
Yes.
the fighters. Count,
Absolutely.
count on me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I look forward to chopping it up with you again. Expect to reach out after, this happens, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for those who joined on board,
Thank you,
who
everybody.
came on for Claudia. Appreciate you. And until next time, be blessed at Godspeed. I'll
Godspeed.
talk soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye, Claudia. All right, my man. Come on in, champ. Hold up. Let me see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have another guest coming on board. And what we want to do is bring him on. If I think he's here, Kevin. I
Yeah.
I can't see you.
Huh.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Okay, there we go. Here we come. My man.
Remember, I'm a professional, which means I have to
Yeah.
hit the wrong button at least
Of
twice.
course, of course. You are funny, man.
Oh my
Welcome
word.
aboard, man. It is so good to get you on board finally. Sorry for the run over, but wow, man, she was great. And I was
Hey.
like, oh man, yes.
Yeah, thanks for letting me follow her. I appreciate that a lot, brother.
Oh yeah, it's a tough act to follow. I've been there. I wanted someone else to see what it tastes, how chicken tastes when it comes in a form of crow.
Oh man.
Welcome, man. How has it been going?
It's been
I've
great.
chatted with you later.
It's
Yeah.
been great. I mean, this is my second live stream I've been on today. That's phenomenal.
Wow.
I was getting a little extra work in for my live stream tomorrow. So
How are you? Okay.
a good day.
Cool. What camera are you using?
I am using this camera right here as a Canon M6 Mark II.
Okay.
And it is connected. It has a clean HDMI out, which just is fancy words for it. There's the stuff I see on the screen, nobody else can see on the screen. Then it's going through a cam link right into the computer when I hit the right button.
Tell me this. I know and for those of my fans who are watching, this man here is in the world of what the podcast world. He knows the cameras. He understands how to create the effects and what you need. A lot of you out there are trying to do podcasts and stuff. So we had to bring Kevin on, and Kevin Kobe is. I reached out and I was like, man, I like how you carry your entire network. You were at that on that day. You were doing a piece with the CEO of
Maybe an Ecam.
Ecam.
Yeah.
Ecam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's great platforms out there. I mean, Ecam Live, I love. Be Live is great. StreamYard is great. And what I think is really cool about most of these companies is they're small. And so when they work and you can use them, you kind of feel like you're supporting small business, which is I love anyway. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I got a question for you, because I know you're probably conscious of the like camera that I one of the ones I just ordered was the Sony A6400.
It's a great camera.
Yeah. I've done a lot of combing the internet to find out, what would be perfect for me. And with that being said, once again, my audience, Kevin Kobe, people are chiming. So we want to make sure that you have a great opportunity to coach someone up like myself, because what I saw you doing and the way you was doing it really makes me step back. Is the same reason I brought Claudia in. It's because you were doing it. You weren't just doing it. It's the way you have such great character, and it transfers onto the screen, off of the screen. And someone like me appreciates it, because a lot of guys out there are blowing a bunch of stuff out there, but they're not really walking it back and making it make sense. And you were great at doing that. So
well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
How did you get into this, so I can really be clear and people can understand?
So I won't give you the whole history, because if I did, one, it's too long and it's very boring. I doze off in the middle of it, so that's how bad it is. I started in radio a long time ago. Grew up wanting to be in radio, got into radio, and was actually on radio for several years, and then had a chance to get into television. Okay. So a lot of my history, a lot of my experience in, excuse me, video and marketing was in television. And up until a few years ago, I was a creative director at a Fox station, and like the businesses of broadcast does, they get smaller, and my position got eliminated.
Okay.
And but I've been given these gifts to create and use, video and audio, and we all have gifts, but I thought, this is something I can do, and it's what I was being led to do. So I just started my own business, and I consider myself a video coach and a marketing specialist. I don't ever use the word expert. I know there's experts watching, and I don't apply that to me. But that's what I do. I help people get into and grow with video. I love it.
Well, sort of like when you came on, if you got the word expert and people are, making mistakes, you're like, okay, if the expert can make mistakes, that's a low bar.
Yeah.
Key is you want people to realize that there's no perfect being.
Oh no. And if you follow me for any length of time, you'll realize, dude can make some mistakes.
You carry the human factor, which is what makes it cool. And you were just so, transparent and straightforward. And I think when you had the president of Ecam on, what was very apparent that he was not really used to having, like a lot of personality kind of. He's that techie 1000%.
Yeah.
I mean, his personality was, he creates, he narrates. He is Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Glenn's pretty laid back. Yeah.
He is.
He's kind of chill. That's why I put that silly open together for him and shared it with the marketing director, Katie. And I said, I'm just going to play this. I hope he's okay with it. And his reaction was like, oh, okay.
Well, when but you made it really obvious how serious it is. But another camera I want to ask you about is the Panasonic AG-DVX200 4K.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with with that camera. Panasonic so somebody asked earlier in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, they said, I want to get a camera. What's the best camera to get? And I jumped in and I said, there is no best camera. There are there's bad cameras. There's good cameras. There's great cameras, and then there's favorite cameras.
Yeah.
And I like Canon. My first ever camera was a Canon AE1, which is a film camera. Funny story. A few years ago, I sold it on eBay. I just thought, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to buy some other stuff. And then last year I thought, man, I really wish I hadn't sold that. And I found the guy and bought it back. Because I thought, and he had actually bought it for his daughter. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm done with it. And, but I like Canon cameras. I have a Canon M50. I've got another one or two that's on order. But are Canons the best? No, they're good cameras.
Well, they have great color. They're known for what they're known for, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. But I have the Canon 70D as well. So
good camera. I had a 70D, and I took it to Honduras on a mission trip, man, and I put it through its paces, and it never ever let me down.
It never wavers.
No. And then I sold it. And bought
it was too much camera for me when I first got it. I was like, but over time, I start to get adapted, and then I start doing more. I start using my phone in a lot of instances.
Nothing wrong with that.
Or in the gym, like when I'm, I'm working with my guys and I'm capturing footage and clips. I'm using my phone a lot of the time, unless someone else is doing the shoots. But when I use that 70D, it was like, wow. I mean, it just permeates off of the screen. And I was like, this thing is an absolute, and just the coloring and the detail that Canon, wow, they just pay attention to detail.
Yeah. Well, and and one of the things they're really known for is the autofocus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If I do this right here, it should focus on my hand and then back. And that's just pretty amazing. In video and film, it's called a rack focus, where you and in Hollywood, from what I understand, they pay people a lot of money just to stand by a camera and do that. But hey, Eric, let me say this though, because it's something that I encounter a lot, and what I encourage people to do is that, gear and tools won't make you any more creative, but they'll help you create. But people think, well, if I just get the right camera or the right mic or the right whatever, then I'll be creative. No. I mean, you need to start with the content. You need to start with your audience, and then everything else will go in. I consider my iPhone one of my cameras. I've never had a client ever ask me, Kevin, what camera are you going to use? Because I want to make sure that we're using the right camera. No, they want to know how much it's going to cost, when you're going to get it, but how are you going to help them? That's what they're interested in.
Yeah, that for me is it, because I was able to use my camera, and it kept me from having to do all this. Now I went out and got a gimbal and all of that stuff, the little shotgun for the gimbal. And now I'm back to the camera, and because I got 5,000, 10,000 videos in social media. And when you got a massive amount of, video out there like that, it's on the fly a lot of the times. But you do have produced stuff. But I found I have a great infatuation now with the mics and the lighting and everything. So as you can see, I got the big baby.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. That's the Shure, right?
She's a I got both kind. And I love them. But what my issue is that I want to ask you about is now that Rode One wireless. What do you think about that? Using that for shoots, like when you're doing.
Are you talking about the Rode Wireless Go?
Yeah.
I actually have 2 of them. That's how much I love them. Yeah.
Oh.
They are, first of all, okay, so, I'm not affiliated with Rode or Canon. If they're listening,
yeah, you don't.
We can talk. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I love Rode because again, it works. In fact, my mic I'm using now is just out of the frame, and it's the Rode Video Mic NTG, which you can also pop it on a camera.
Okay.
It's a USB mic, so I'm connected to a USB. But the Rode Wireless Go, I think I love them. I've used them for client shoots. I've
Everybody was
used them for
liking it.
just around here.
Yeah.
And you can clip them on. They even
Okay.
put a magnet. You can hide it here.
Yeah.
You can put a lavalier mic to it, and
Yeah.
they work. I mean, you turn them on, and they're paired,
Let's
which just
go.
means that one is a receiver and one's a transmitter, and the
Yeah.
mic's built in. I love them, and they're
Dang,
affordable.
man.
I think they're affordable. I mean, they're just under
It's like
$200, and
yeah,
I
yeah, right
realize,
at $200. That's cheap, man.
yeah,
Everything
yeah.
I've been buying is like 2,500,
Well, yeah,
5,500,
yeah,
like
yeah.
left and right.
And I
People
don't
don't
want to act like
understand.
$200 is, oh, it's just only 200. But when you can get something like that, and it comes with the cord, it comes with the charger, it comes with a little case for under
Yeah,
$200, and it works,
yeah.
that's a good deal. And you can use those on a boom. You can plug them
Mhm.
into your computer. I mean, it's pretty sweet.
Okay, so the boom mic by Shure. I was thinking about getting it, and, I thought about it, and I was just like, "I need to bullet Kevin." He probably knows a little bit more about that Shure. Now, I mean, I'm never gonna question Shure. I got the
No, sure is
Shure.
good.
Yeah, I got the
Yeah,
earplugs too.
yeah, yeah.
But when
Sure
I
is good. I mean, I had a typical boom mic. It was a Rode years
yeah,
ago, and I ended up just selling it because I wasn't using it, and it was an
mhm,
XLR like that is the way it's plugged in.
mhm,
And one of the things I like about this mic is that it looks like a shot. It looks like a boom mic rather, but you
mhm.
can control the gain on it, which is just the volume. You can do
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
different things like that. And so like right now, actually I've used it, and I've also got the Rode Video Mic NTG. It looks like the little fat one.
Mhm.
And I've used those
Oh,
on a
yeah,
boom pole as a
yeah,
boom mic. And I personally, for what I do and what I recommend to my clients a lot of times, is that if you can buy a piece of gear and get multiple uses out of it,
yeah.
it,
Oh,
it
yeah,
it's a better investment as opposed to
of
this one
course.
thing only does this one thing.
Yeah, but
Plus,
for
I'm cheap.
me I know, but, I mean, you're not cheap to someone who's not from this world. You know, this
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this world is
Oh,
expensive.
it
People
is.
have
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
no idea. When cheap is $200,
Yeah,
when you say put cheap with
yeah.
$200, people are like, "What are you talking about?"
Hey,
You
look,
know?
and I gotta tell you, I don't have a problem, in fact, I just I bought a camera recently that is refurbished. I'm fine with that. My first MacBook
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. A
was
real
a
camera?
refurbished.
Yeah.
If it
I
works,
mean,
it works, and a lot of times on those refurbished deals, you can, and I'm not talking about eBay or something like that. I'm talking about like Canon or something. You
go
get
to
the
the
same warranty.
yeah.
So, what the heck? And by the way, this shirt, thrift store shirt, $2, baby.
Official, the official classic. For those of
Yeah,
you too
I
young to
saw that in the
understand what that
bin.
is.
I thought, it's got my name
Dude,
on
man, I was about to say, "I'll send you $2 to go get me one of those Cheers." Man, I grew up on Cheers, dude. Are you serious?
it. Great show.
Man, oh my gosh, Norm, let's get a cold one. That's the best. Man, I love Cheers. That was oh my gosh, I was religious in the evening time when it was time for that to come on.
Yeah, that was a
Never
great show. Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
could
great show.
watch the reruns and it impact me the same way, man, but then I start to appreciate the camera much more, getting
Yeah.
versed and really learning and not wanting to because we have a lot of serious stuff that we're gonna be doing with, the film world, and,
Mhm.
there'll be some trailers and some things that I wanna get done, and I don't want people we're coming in to aid. There'll be some people coming in volunteer, and then I have guys who got motion pictures. I
Yeah,
want them to know that I'm in the game and I'm
yeah,
not playing, and we're getting the kind of equipment that people take seriously, and it costs the investment. But when I see, how you've, teetered around and tasted and tried a lot of different stuff because you're in that world and you're from that world. I have an appreciation for it, brother, because
I appreciate it.
the commitment that it takes to go and invest. And when you do what you're doing, you either have a phone and that's your camera, or you bought a camera once and you've used it for 10
Yep.
years,
Yeah.
or you're all in.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
hardly a middle ground for that world.
That's
'Cause you
true.
get
That's true.
addicted.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
you want the sound to be better. You want the look to be better. You want the entire production to be better. It never stops. It's like a
It's
drug,
always
right?
evolving.
It's always
But, you know, the
evolving.
cool thing is, though, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still learning.
Oh, well, you don't stop learning.
No, no,
You
no,
know,
not at all.
full-time filmmaker, like I reached out to that guy and he was like, "Hey man, shoot me up a proposal and let's, figure it out." Because I said, "Man, I want to train the people who come in and work for me. I want to send them to you, because this course is like $2,200."
Yeah.
And but he's great. I mean, could you teach a course in camera?
Yeah,
And
I
and
could.
what's your camera choice? Would it be the Canon?
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, you know, I've created some what's called digital downloads that you can get. Like I did one on just a M50 startup guide. You know, just because a lot of folks, you know, when they get the camera, it's like I don't even know just the basic settings. So that's why
Oh,
I put it
yeah.
together. It's like here are the settings I use, and that's why
Yeah.
I put it that way. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've actually produced a lot of online courses for clients.
I want you to do. I want to get one. I want to get one for you. I'll pay you for it.
We can talk.
And
We can talk. But
oh
yeah,
no,
I think, you know, I have some course ideas that I
yeah,
haven't done yet. I would like to do sometimes maybe shorter courses about just how to get started in video,
that's
maybe how to
big
use things like
because
Canva, you know,
yeah,
so you can
yeah,
save some money.
Canva is great.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Canva.
Thumbnail
Love Canva.
Blaster, Canva. You that I'm telling you, you won't need sponsors if you get that course done because I know you market, but I got 184,000 people on my page
I
right here,
appreciate it.
and 86 or whatever on Instagram, and 20K on YouTube.
You're
So
killing
I
it,
got
man. Yeah.
I'm just working, man. If people like what you do, if they like the product,
Yeah.
what you have, then they'll hang around. They'll keep on rolling with you. And then I introduce them to good people who have common sense and a business cachet, and they offer up a skill set, and they are steady. They don't look for excuses. They continue to push the envelope.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I created the show to make sure I get. This segment right here is called What's Hot Now, and I'm featuring you in our
I
What's Hot
appreciate it.
Now series. So maybe Sony will take you serious and start shoving some cash your way. At least get a affiliate partnership. I
Or
mean, 'cause
at least a
yeah,
t-shirt.
the thing about it is this: in this day and time, in this era, starting in 2020, it's not about having 100 million followers.
No.
It's about being consistent with
Yep.
your constant. It's the
Yep.
constant person. You can have 73 followers. If you're consistent and you got 8 to 10 people every time listening, that's an audience. That's
Oh yeah.
that's how many people will be purchasing when you got 1 million.
Yep.
8.
Yep. Yep.
So if you just get rid of them and get the 8, then you're good. And that's what companies got to realize. They need to
Yeah.
be making sure that they look at channels and say, that guy's consistent.
Yeah.
I
And you know,
yeah.
I think those are solid points too, because it's easy to get caught up in the numbers.
Yeah.
And I've really appreciated my growth, but I mean, I'm telling you, Eric, anytime I see a view, anytime I see a subscriber, I see a person
Yeah.
that said, hey, that's why I take
Interest.
the time to comment back.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate it. If I'm watching somebody's video and I drop a comment and they just even reply, hey, thanks,
Yeah.
that's cool. And
Yeah.
but you're right. It's easy to say, well, you know, when I have a big channel, well, I mean, I've seen some small channels kill it
Well, you know
in
what
brand
to do.
deals, you
You got to
know.
know what to do and how to do it, but
Yeah.
it gets to a point where you can't respond anymore.
Oh yeah.
when
Yeah.
you
I'm
get
not
to
at that
the
point yet, but we'll see.
30,
Yeah.
30,000, 40,000, 50,000, it's like,
Yeah, that gets harder. Yeah.
oh yeah. And you have to actually really produce to keep things up.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
you're much busier. Now I know what's his name. I actually followed him on I followed 3 people, and that's of this past 7 days. I don't I have 0 people that I follow. So I'm gonna tell you his name and tell me if you know him. He is Gina Nagata. Gene Nagata. He's the other camera guy.
yeah. I
They
don't.
on
Oh,
too.
is that
Yeah,
Potato Chip?
Korean. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I
Oh
went and
man, he has some sweet
smoking.
gear.
Yeah, did you see him with that red camera? It was like, holy smoke.
Yeah,
I mean, he did what he had to do to get that. But he even admitted today, he was like, man, I don't. He's like, you can leave your comments, but don't get back. You get to a point, it's just like
oh yeah, yeah,
the pull on you. But
yeah.
what I would suggest is we gonna do another one of these because I want it to be proprietary. You just for your show because what we're gonna do is lay it out. And I got some tech heads, people who are aspiring and to really in this film thing, where whether it's your podcasts and shows or whatever, so be it, that we specifically have, like I'll have 4 or 5 of my guys down here, and we can pull them in, and they're bullet and ask the questions because you had a great thing. But I want you to one thing you'll learn: you can't be everything for everybody.
No,
The
not at all.
perfect niche right now, the niche is how to get started,
Yeah,
because in 2020 there's more people starting in this arena than ever. I've seen more people
yeah,
with just 1,000
yep,
followers than ever
yeah. No, you're
since I
you're you're right. You
yeah,
are right, and I just talked to somebody today who I hope will become a client. We'll see.
yeah,
And she said, I haven't done YouTube yet. And I said, it's not too late. It's not too late. But
no,
you need to start. I've got this saying, it's like the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is today.
thank you, you're right. You can't underestimate how powerful
Never.
that
Yeah.
is. And that message right there is for people who continue to make excuses or it's my budget, so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
And it's never that, because everybody who's on this other side, this
Yeah.
is how we got here.
Yep.
We
Oh, yeah.
sacrificed.
Yeah.
Look, we ate pork and beans for 6 months.
Hey, don't knock pork and beans. I like pork and beans, and I like ramen noodles too. Not to,
It's not,
but
no,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it takes time. I mean, you were talking about your social media following and stuff like that. You didn't turn it on one day and it happened.
no,
I mean, it takes time, and people have to realize that. And so it's easy to look at,
yeah,
like a
big
Roberto
numbers.
Blake or a Nick Nimmin or somebody and go, wow, look how many they've got. Right. But they've been grinding and they've put in the time, and they drill down and they help people and they bring value before
Yeah,
asking for anything. And then you
uh-huh.
go, oh, that's
Yeah.
why,
And
and
you
they're
know what else is interesting about that is it's a beautiful point. And then they the newer layers are understanding it's not about the big numbers.
yeah.
It's about the message and the process in which
Yes.
you're laying out for the people. And that is the best audience to have, what we call captured audience, not just fans,
Yeah.
because we have enough fans, and
Yeah.
you teaching that camera lens and the mics and the lights. I got aperture light right now that's basically in the box, 2 of them, and 1 Godox, and I
Yeah.
have
Godox is
the
good.
yeah, I got the boom arms coming. They haven't gotten here. I got emails, so I got those new lights coming. Just they're so awesome looking, and I'm ready to get going with them, but I can't get started until the stuff get here. Then I got 2 huge cameras on the way, and I can't do anything. So
Yeah.
I've
It
been
takes
I've been
time.
learning. But see, the thing about it is, with people like you who are out there doing what you're doing, these are things I love to do just because it's me. and I like to tie my brain. And my brother's into photography. It's been his thing. He's always loved it. Video is my thing. I've always loved it, even before I was actually doing it. I
Isn't that
was
cool? Yeah.
Yeah, and I just look back now and I think, no wonder I was always this guy. You know what I mean? Like
You were drawn to it. Yeah.
I was drawn to it, and I'm taking the full course. I'm gonna take the full course with full-time filmmaking, or there's another guy. And when they see influencers like me, they know I'm the real deal, so it's they take you serious, and they're like, "Hey, well, let's see what we can do." I have a course, mine's online coaching, and the biggest thing is those guys know when you understand it because you do the same thing
Yep.
that we can bring value to one another. So they was like, hey, write a proposal. Let's make something happen, bigger than just us taking each other's courses. So
Oh yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
good, man. I see you gotta probably get ready to go, man. I just had to bring you on.
Dude,
And now
I appreciate
now
it.
yeah, and I can communicate with you now, and I'm gonna be sending you a message. I want to set up a conversation with you. Maybe we do a face-to-face Zoom call,
That sounds
and
good.
kind of let's map out a little something. First thing I want to make sure we get is the time to really map out a small little thing. Someone like me, I'm more versed. Like I'm acting like I'm a baby in it, but I know a lot more than a lot of people, which I wouldn't give that up for anything because
Yeah.
I know enough to be very dangerous. But it's my desire and my drive
Yeah.
to become a master and to spend thousands on just my education, not just being aware, because I have guys who are in our school, they pay, and when you want it the right way, you do it the right way. And getting a course is the right way.
That's
I don't
right.
care what I got sacrificed to do that time wise. It's worth it in the end. And even if it's my hobby, it makes my little skits a little bit better when I'm doing little things. And then I hire people when because most of the time I just can't get people when I need them or want them.
Yeah. Yeah.
People just chiming in crazy right here. Yeah. Thanks, man. Tina. Welcome aboard, Tina Lynch. Hi, Alan. Where you from? Y'all make sure you leave your names up here. Oh, that was for Claudia. It's good to see you, Amelia. But our objective now is to say let's be able to do something and build on it. And I was just glad that you connected back and I was able to get you up here, man. So I ain't gonna hold you up no more.
No,
It's been a
absolutely.
pleasure. And
Man, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
absolutely, you guys, you got to follow him. My man, he's a good dude and has a lot of knowledge
Thank you.
spread over a course of years and decades. And so, Kevin Colby, make sure you pull him up on YouTube. Kevin, what's your YouTube handle?
It's Kevin Colby. That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. That's
Brand
it. And
consistency.
even my website is kevincolby.com. And my business name is Kevin Colby Media because I thought surely I could remember that.
You can remember that. Well, make sure you guys take a chance and peep him out on his channel. He's doing good things.
Appreciate
And
it.
like I said, man, we'll connect. You'll be getting an email follow up, and let's get it popping next time. All right,
That sounds
buddy?
good. Thanks for having me
My
on.
man.
See you guys.
Absolutely, champ. Talk soon. Bye bye. It's a good dude, man. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to hang out with us. We want to bring you guys insight to the other side of things that's going on in the world, not just from the sport world, but what's hot now. A week before it was about the Oculus, and if you don't have that Oculus, someone left a message that they finally ended up getting it. That is a powerful thing. And for those of you who did not see the book, this is Against the Ropes, and the link is in the description. And this is Claudia Trejos' book is coming. You can pre-order it. Make sure you check her out. She has a message, as you could see when she was on the screen. She was absolutely permeating. She's in the thickest of things and rebranding herself to edify and capture all of the goods that she was born to get. It's just that time. So if someone's out there right now and you're not really in a place where you want to be in your life, you just look at someone like Claudia. Remember this. If things are not happening for you where you are, the phrase should always stick with you like this. Market is everything. And what that means is where you are is probably the reason why you're not where you want to be. Because whatever market you're in, that's what you will be able to do. You'll be able to do. If you look at LeBron James, he left Cleveland and went to LA and he signed the rest of his career there. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. The market, Kyrie Irving, New York. I want to be in New York. You know, Kevin Durant. If they want to build up an area, they want to build up an area that's a big, strong market where wherever you turn, left or right, if you look at Claudia, Miami, Florida is the real heat. Places, Texas, look at Dallas. Markets are everything. So if you're in a wrong place, it's a good chance that that's what's holding you back. Don't put too much pressure on yourself thinking it's just you. So take a leap of faith. Listen to or read the literature of someone who's been where you are and has catapulted themselves and is in a new chapter of their lives. Claudia Trejos, you guys. This is an amazing person, and you're going to see more from her on the Fight Show. So continue to watch, follow us, and we got you covered. Until next time, see you. Stay safe, wash them hands, wear your mask. This thing is real. We out of here. Be blessed at Godspeed. And remember, we are going to be doing our show coming up, the boxing, Tuesday. It's going down again. Look forward to seeing you next time.